At some point, Netanyahu and Trump broke the friendship bracelet.
Mr. President, should people who have taken part in, for example, pro-Palestinian protests across the world be concerned about being able to join the World Cup and watching here in the U.S.?
Well, I don't know what you mean by that, but people that have taken part in protests, I think people are allowed to protest. You have to do it in a reasonable manner, not necessarily friendly, but reasonable. Otherwise, Pam will come after you, and you're going to have a big problem. You're going to have a big problem, right, Pam?
This is the guy who did January 6th, by the way.
Do you support Israel's plan to conquer Gaza if Hamas doesn't agree to a deal during your visit to the Middle East?
These are very strange questions, aren't they? I never like when they read them off a machine. I don't know. Who's sending the question to you? Let's not talk about that now. We're talking about the World Cup. Go ahead. What else? Anything else? I think we're pretty well set. I want to thank everybody. We're going to make this tremendous.
No more questions. Let's go do some other shit now. All right, that's not as related as I thought. We'll move on to the next one. Hold on. Okay, that is funny, though. America loves Israel because Israel's a white nationalist state that wants to colonize land owned by brown Muslims. America loves that. However, Israel is getting too spoiled. And they're getting simply too... They're too spoiled. And they're too entitled, and America isn't liking that now, because now even when America wants Israel to not do something, Israel does it anyway. And that was a big issue with Biden, but Biden sat in the cuck chair. He allowed it to happen. Meanwhile, Trump, he don't like that. He doesn't like the cuck chair. He doesn't think it's comfortable. He doesn't like the metal that goes up his back. It's just not comfortable, and he doesn't like watching shit happen. You get what I'm saying. This joke is a little convoluted. You get my point. He is not happy that Israel basically just wants to do their own shit. So, Trump just straight up made a deal with the Houthis, ended the war with them, which is, I don't like Trump. That is a good thing that he did. I don't know. I'm not saying he has good policy on the Houthis. He's the one who started recognizing them as a terrorist organization, which was obviously a giant mistake. But he ended the war with them, and then he cut ties with Netanyahu. They have no direct contact anymore. So he's getting pissed off. And then he cut a deal with Hamas. Shit's getting nuts. So let's cover that. Why is this so dramatically edited? Was this by AI or something? Trump angry at Netanyahu for trying to manipulate him. Yeah. Israel facing isolations as Trump talks to his enemies, Houthis, alone. Dude, his editing is insane. But I like it. U.S. President Trump has cut ties with Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu, as per Israeli Army Radio. So this is from Israel, guys. This is per Israel. Israeli Army Radio said U.S. told Israel's Strategic Affairs Minister about Trump's move. Dude, this is insane. Like, Trump is having the biggest global scale crash out I've ever seen. But this time it's actually for a valid reason. He's crashing out because his besties, Netanyahu and Putin, were fucking with him. And for that reason, he's crashing out. And I think that's hilarious. That's amazing. This is actually, believe it or not, a valid crash out from Trump. I'll say it. He's going ahead with the Saudi Arabia deal without waiting for Israel. Dude, this editing, I feel like we're in like a dystopian action film. It would be really funny if Hamas started sucking up to Trump and Trump was like, and then Hamas... and then they got really good relations. That would be really funny. Oh my god. I respect Hamas. I respect them. Very powerful leaders in Hamas. The point is, he's now cutting deals with Hamas on his own. And that is very, very unlike what Israel wants to see. Which, I mean, hey, most reasonable crash out from Trump. Most reasonable global crash out. He's crashing out because he's realizing that all of his friends are pieces of shit. And who manipulate him. Well, he knew they're pieces of shit to begin with. But now he knows they're manipulating him, and he don't like that.
My name is Jessie Ross.
Why is she talking out my left ear only? For people watching this with headphones on, she's only coming out the left ear for some reason. So if you only got one headphone on, make sure it's the left one. So, thank God